Well, it's been a very extremely long time since I've done this. I just read 1 Samuel 8. I'm fasting from social media still. I may never go back to it. I post things, but I don't look at anything anybody says. I don't nothing. I might post some things sometimes that are really good. But so I was reading 1 Samuel 8. This thing touched me. Good Lord, have mercy. So it's about Samuel, who is prophet, and he's getting older. He had 2 sons, and his sons were not following in his way. So the Israelites came to him like, your sons are doing evil, and we want a king. Give us a king. Give us a king. You're old, And so he, goes to God, prays, and God, gives him a warning to give to them. He's going to basically just use you, do all this stuff, take all your stuff, and you're going to end up being his slaves, okay? And so there's some scriptures that are just really, 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 really good, and I'm going to read them because it will only make sense to read them. So 1 Samuel 8:7 says, "And the Lord told him," so this is the Lord talking to Samuel, "listen to all that the people are saying to you. It is not you they have rejected, but they have rejected me as their king." That hurts. I mean, think about it. You're talking about the God, the creator of the whole entire universe. And when you and I reject him, it's talking about them. But we do it so often. Verse 8 says, "As they have done from the day I brought them out of Egypt until this day, forsaking me and serving other gods, so they are doing to you." I'm going to keep going. Verse 17 is where it says, "And you yourselves will become his slaves." But verse 18 says, "When that day comes, you will cry out for relief from the king you have chosen, and the Lord will not answer you in that day." Ouch. So I don't even remember where I was, but somewhere was some Christian event, concert, conference, something. And there was this young guy, and he was just talking like to someone else, like where we're waiting in line or something. And he said some things I had never heard before in my life. And he was talking about how everything in the Bible is like, I'll use the word, an analogy or whatever. Like it's a depiction of our lives with God. And so he was talking about how him bringing the Israelites out of slavery, bringing them through the Red Sea and all this stuff, right? And he was talking about, that's us, that's God, And my mind was just blown away by it because nobody had ever taught me this stuff. Like, it's just amazing the stuff the church misses out on. But anyways, at any rate, basically what it is when God, so before you become a Christian, you're in slavery to the devil. You do all this stuff, and y'all might be thinking, this chick is crazy if you're not a Christian and you don't get it. And I get it because I was there, okay? But just listen to me. So, before you become a Christian, you are enslaved to the devil, okay? You are enslaved to your flesh. You do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. You don't care. That's usually how it is, okay? I'll probably say about 95% or maybe 99.9% of the time, you do whatever you want, okay? It doesn't work out well, trust me, okay? Speaking from experience. So when God saves you, when you become a Christian, when you ask, God to come into your life and say you want to live for him and you believe he sent his son to die for you and stuff, right? Okay. So at that point you become a Christian. So he's brought you out of that slavery, just like he brought the Israelites, out of Egypt. Okay. But then we still live in this world. We still live in this flesh. We still live in this body, right? So we still have these desires. We still have these temptations. We still have problems. We still have issues. We have everything. Nothing has changed as far as how we live, living in this world, okay? You will slowly start to see yourself start to change, and things that you used to do, those desires that you used to have will start changing, okay? Sometimes it's slow. Sometimes certain things will just go like that. Some things will take years, okay? Speaking from experience, all right? And my hair, I feel like it's all crazy, so just ignore the hair. It's bothering me. But so these scriptures just really talked to me, because it was like, oh my God, is that me? You know, you brought me out of slavery from the devil. You brought me out of slavery from myself, from my flesh, from my desires, from all this stuff. You brought me from that, right? And verse 8 says, as they have done from the day I brought them out of Egypt, the day that he saved you, until this day. I'm sorry, let me read that again. As they have done from the day I brought them out of Egypt until this day. Okay, that's right. He says, forsaking me and serving other gods. Oh my God, are we doing that? I'll speak for myself. Yes, I do that. My goal is to live for God. That is my goal. But I always have these like desires. I always want this or that or whatever. And I got two examples that I thought of, okay? But verse 18 says that, okay, because they were crying out for a king, right? They wanted a king. They wanted a king. They didn't care. They didn't want to listen to God. They wanted what they wanted, okay? And it says that when they cry out for relief, that the Lord will not answer them. My God, I would hate for it to be the day that God does not answer me when I cry out to him and it's my own fault. Do you hear what I'm saying? Now, this is the Old Testament, but I'm just telling you, okay? Let's see. So then one of the questions was, why were the Israelites willing to ignore the warning about a king? Because like God totally warned them. I mean, you have to read 1 Samuel 8 like verbatim. Like he told them every single thing that was about to happen to them. Like I said, he's about to take all your stuff. He's about to use you. He's about to make you his slaves. Okay. So it gives you a couple answers on this question. And I said, their desire superseded their ability to reason. Oh my goodness. How many times do we do that? How many times does our desire stop us from thinking? So many times, right? So I told y'all about the guy that I had met or whatever at the gym when I was trying to be a cop and blah, 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 blah. And I fell for him and blah, 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 right? So he was everything that I prayed for, right? Okay, so he moves away, okay, which he told me he was. So he, was a super great guy. He told me from the get-go, so wasn't nothing like that. But, I was fine when I was trying to be a cop. Like, I'm single, cool, I'll stay single forever, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me because it just doesn't. Until I met him, right? So then I'm like, well, God, I want someone, because and I'll say it like this, what he and I had was like fabulous to me. It was everything that I had prayed for, was everything that I had wanted, right? And so here I am, right? And I'm like, well, I really want this, God. I really want this. And I felt like God told me one day, he is my Isaac. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And so I'm going back in my head, okay, Isaac in the Bible. Oh, Isaac is Abraham's son that, God promised to, messed that up. God promised to Abraham, right? For years. And he was old. His wife was old, it was never ever going to happen. He gives him the son. And guess what? Isaac, okay, that's the son. And then he's like, hey, guess what? I want you to sacrifice it. What? The thing that I prayed for forever, the thing that you promised me, the thing that you gave me, now you want me to give it back to you? What? And I was like, I don't want to sacrifice him. Yes, I'm dramatic, but that was really me, because it was a night after we had left each other. And I think it was the last night I saw him, actually, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. But anyway, at any rate, I just felt like that's what was put into my spirit. Like, he's your Isaac. And I'm like, what? I don't want him to be my Isaac. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to sacrifice him. I don't want to give him back. I want him. So anyways, what happened was there's this girl at work, okay? And she was on this dating app. And she just seemed like, I don't know, she was having so much fun and all this stuff. When you look at things that other people got, you don't know really what's going on. I'm just telling you. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should try that then, right? This is just like the pure example. I'm telling you. Because it talked about their desires superseded their ability to reason. That was me. Because I had this fabulous thing that I had prayed for forever, and now it's gone. So now I want to try and recreate it, right? I'm not God. I'm not the creator. He is. So my desire superseded my ability to reason, and me, I think after like 2-3 days, I was tired of it. It gets old. Hey, how are you? Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Okay, the you're so beautiful never gets old, but actually sometimes I think it does. But it just got sickening because, once again, these people are not living for God. They're living for themselves. They're living for the devil, even though they don't know it. They're living for their flesh, what they want, what they desire, blah, 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 blah. So then you start getting entangled with all this craziness that you don't want to be in, really, right? Because I thought, that I could be the creator, And to me, it just goes back to forsaking him and serving other gods. He already told me. And then I was talking to the pastor that's over the Columbia church here in Elevation. And when I told him, I was telling him about this situation, I said, he's my Isaac. And then he started talking about the story of Abraham and Sarah. And then there was Hagar. And then she had Ishmael. And I had a date lined up, right? And I was like, oh my God, because I told him, I said, I don't know if I should go, if I really want to go, blah, blah, blah. And it hit me when he was praying for me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Why are you trying to be like Hagar? Why are you trying to be like Abraham and Sarah and not listen and have Hagar and then have the son on the side, okay? It just causes more problems. So basically, Abraham and Sarah, God promised them a son. They were old. They didn't think it was ever going to happen. Sarah was like, here's my maidservant, Hagar. Go ahead, take her, sleep with her, have a kid. Big, huge mistake, okay? So you have to read it. It's in Genesis. So anyway, that's what I felt. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm really not trying to do this, God. Like, I'm not. I'm trying to follow after you. I'm trying to, listen to you. And I hear tidbits here and here and here and here. And I'm trying, God. Like, I'm trying to put it all together. I'm trying, And I always screw up because my desire is superseding my ability to reason. Like, I'm not stepping back and really thinking, like, I cannot create something that God created. I can try, but it's always going to fail. It's not going to work out. This is going off in another direction than what I thought it would. But at any rate, the second example I will give is, I never went on the date, by the way. Okay, kudos to me. But still, talking to these people and going, I'll explain this. Going on that app, talking to different people, eventually I was triggered. I was triggered last week, and it brought me to a bad spot. I'm like almost 100% out of it now, I think, but it just brought me to a bad spot. Why? Because the whole time I was trying to recreate something that God had given me. I'm not God. I can't do that. I need to step back, wait, and see whatever God's plan is. And that's really hard for me, right? I'm speaking for me. I don't know about y'all, but it's really freaking hard for me, okay? Especially when you waited freaking forever. God promised you, and he gave it to you, and then he takes it. That's hard for me, because my mind is like, what? I don't get it, God. At any rate, another example was when a situation happened, and I'll just put it this way, like my finances went down a huge sum of money, okay? I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? And that's when I actually had my first anxiety attack, like a severe anxiety attack where I had to call 911 because I thought I was having a heart attack. But in that, before that, God had given me peace, and he had told me, hey, I'm going to take care of you. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, okay, because I don't remember exactly what was said. But it was basically like, don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of you, right? So not only did I have the anxiety attack, I called 911 because I thought I was having a heart attack. So then I had the medical bills, right? Not only that, but then I was like, oh my God, how am I going to take care of these kids? How am I going to take care of myself? What am I going to do? How, blah, 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 blah. That's like how my mind sounds sometimes, right? Okay, I'm not alone. I'm just more willing to be out there and share with people, okay? So then I start using credit cards because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't have the money. I didn't know, whatever. I was forsaking him, like I said in verse 8, and serving other gods because it was, and when they talk about other gods, it's like anything else you put in place of God, okay? So I wasn't listening to him. I was doing what I thought was best because of fear, for one. And here I am. This is like 3 or 4 years later, and I'm still paying the price for going to those credit cards, using those credit cards, So I said all that to say, be careful. Learn lessons from other people when they share them. Gain wisdom from other people. Gain wisdom from other people's mistakes. So you don't have to go through those mistakes. You don't have to go through that. And my God, if you really love God and have that relationship with him, you never want to make him feel like he, was in chapter 8, especially the part where it says in verse 18, where it says, when you cry out to him, he's not going to answer you. Can you imagine? Like, things can't help you. People can't help you. When you get to a certain point, money can't help you. People can't help you. And you need God to do something. You need God to move. And you go to him and you're like, help me. And he doesn't answer. I can't even imagine the day. I can't. I don't ever want that day to come. Thank God for Jesus. That's all I'm saying. But I will say this. I feel like everybody's going to have a different answer to this. Everybody's going to have a different whatever. I can only speak for me, what I've experienced. God will allow you, because of things you have done, to suffer the consequences. It's just like being a parent with your child. Your child does something and your child doesn't listen to you. There's always discipline for one, but there's always consequences for your actions, right? Yes, God is still always going to be there for you because he says he's never going to leave us. He's never going to forsake us. But guess what? You might have to go through some things because of things you did, right? Like me still suffering the consequences of going to the credit cards and not trusting in him. Not, taking fear over faith is what I did. It was a tough lesson to learn. Trust me. Because yesterday I sat there and I took the cards that I had left that I still have to pay, wrote down the amounts because this is, I believe, what I'm supposed to do, wrote down the amounts, the dates, how much I could pay, and how much, watching that balance come down. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's going to be until 2022 before all this stuff is paid for. Are you serious? And I'm talking like all the bills and like my AC, I went out and stuff, so I included all that, but whatever. So it's like until the beginning of 2022. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I think. Wait. Yeah, 2022. That's rough. Because that was not my goal. At any rate, oh my God, this video is long. Don't be like Mary. Be like God. Seriously though, hopefully the examples that I've shown you, like, you can learn something, because one, I didn't have to have the trigger. Now, mind you, God takes all the things in our life, good, bad, indifferent, whatever, and he's going to use it for good. So I am glad that I was triggered, because I know that that is still an issue, and I know why. And so I need to look out for that, for the future. But I could have, in another sense, not had to go through all that I went through just because I was trying to recreate something that God had given me. I'm not God. I can't do that. So don't try and be God. I guess that's lesson number 1. And don't try and put other things above God. And sometimes it just happens subtly and we don't even recognize it or realize it, because the situation with the dating app was the first thing that came to my mind when I read this. And I was like, oh, wow, God, forgive me. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want anything above you. I just want what you have for me. You know what I'm saying? Because what God has for you is so perfect, is so good. And, yeah, I don't know what the words to use. There's just not enough words in the English language to use. because what God has for you is just right. Why am I thinking of Goldilocks and the Three Bears? It's too hot. It's too cold. That's what we're going to get. It's, what were all the little, I can't even remember the whole story of Goldilocks and Three Bears. I'm just remembering the porridge part about the one was too hot. The other one was too cold. And then the last one was just right. God will give you the just right. You're going to get the too hot. You're going to get the too cold. God will give you the just right. I don't even know where that came from, but true. Because I'm thinking of my whole situation with my friend, and he was just right. I mean, like, he wasn't perfect because he's still human, but he was just right. So anyways, I've probably blown his head up to kingdom come, but it's all right. Hopefully something came to you, because sometimes when I do this, I can't explain what's up here to come out here. But this just, I don't know. It blew me away, because I'm still human, and I'm still gonna have those times where my desire is gonna supersede my ability to reason. But God help me, because I don't want to be like that. Like, literally, I don't want that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely staying away from the dating apps. That is for sure. For sure. For sure. Because sometimes we'll see things that other people have, like I said, and it ain't even what it seems, baby, because what you see ain't really what you get, for one, but it ain't really real. Anyways, it's been a long time. I'm going to keep doing these videos. I've decided I'll probably do them and start like a YouTube thing and put them out there. Just because of the wonderful things he does. I don't know what's going on with me. At any rate, God is wonderful, not Oz. But like I said, hopefully the whole purpose is, you know, watch your desires before they stop you from being able to reason. You know, be careful about serving other gods, just putting anything else before God, and just watch yourself, you know, because you don't want to pay the consequences. Telling you, you don't want to pay the consequences, okay? The consequences can be very deep and harsh sometimes, okay? At any rate, hopefully, I don't know that this was too uplifting, sorry about that, but this just really spoke to me. So hopefully something, you know, helped you. That's the whole goal, you know, learn from Mary's stupid mistakes so you don't make them. It may not be with a dating app, it may not be with credit cards, but it might be with something else. It might be with wasting your time watching TV. It might be not exercising. I don't know. It might be eating too much. It might be buying too many clothes. I don't know. I don't know the things that you deal with, you know, but it can be any one of those things. Might be putting work before, you know, your family, or just even work before yourself, or whatever, you know. So just be careful. It's not easy, but we will make it. With God on our side, we will make it, right? I love y'all. I do. I hope you have a fabulous week. Peace.